Masha, I.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Answer, my.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much. You're not the only one who can make videos, I told you. Thank you very much for coming. To welcome you, I'd like to welcome Rabbi Danny Rich, Chief Executive of Liberal Judaism.
Friends, LJY-Netzer and parents, I guess, probably here by the look of it. I'm just going to be very brief and welcome you first of all to the Montague Centre. I don't need to tell you where the fire exit is, it's out there or out the window, but simply to welcome you and to say, both as the Chief Executive and as a parent, I sent my 4 children, one at a time, on the LJY-Netzer Israel tour. I do think, despite the fact they're the children of a rabbi, and they went to a cheder every week, and they in fact went to shul every week, probably, combined with Kadima summer camp, those were the 2 most important Jewish experiences of their life. Their commitment to Israel that the tour gives them, and their sense of Jewish identity is very strong, and the fact is they had a great time and they had a safe time, and that's it. I'm a parent. Hello, welcome. And if you're a parent, one of the things you ask yourself is, are they going to be safe? And the answer is yes, they're going to be safe. And every one of our young people who went last year was safe throughout all of their experiences last year, because security is at the top of our agenda, and I'm sure LJY-Netzer will explain all that to you. Our partners at the UJIA, I think they're more cautious than I would have been even with my own children. So I say that so that they will not expose your children to any danger, and that's the first thing. Second thing is the LJY-Netzer team, in partnership with UJI and others, will make sure that your children, I'm speaking mainly to parents, but I also know there are young people here who can experience it, that you or your children have a most amazing experience. I don't think I need to say anything, because the real people need to hear from the people of this generation. But ultimately, the responsibility is mine. If it weren't safe, I wouldn't have sent my own children. I wouldn't recommend you send your children. If I didn't think it was inspiring, I wouldn't be sending my children. I would have sent your children. And if I didn't think it's good value for money, even though it's expensive, I wouldn't be sending my children or recommending you send your children. So I'm very happy to answer any general questions, but I know the people you really want to know from, and the people you hear from, and the people who really give you the answers. Hello, welcome. Our movement workers, you've got them here. They introduce themselves, I'm sure they have. If not, they will do in a minute. But have you got any, I have to rush off. So are there any specific questions you've got for me? I'm also conscious I'm talking, I realise I've got to look here, haven't I, to make sure that we've got 10 people, I think, in Birmingham, or a number of people in Birmingham, also keeping an eye on what we're doing and trying to facilitate it so we're not only London-based. Is there anything specific you wanted to ask me?
Yes, I've got a question. Why is it not adopted?
I can explain it.
It's okay, I'll explain it after the presentation if you want, but I'll talk about that.
What is your input? Because I don't know what questions to direct to you, because obviously there's lots of questions and probably to them, but
ultimately it's all my responsibility. I'm the chief executive here. I have to be satisfied, of course, with our partners. I mean, they do the day-to-day work, but I have to be satisfied that it's safe, that our partners are doing the work properly, that we've screened and trained all the Madrikin who are there, that if I've got any questions about the medics or the Israeli Madrikin, the UJIA and I have answered all those questions. So I'm responsible overall, they're responsible for the details. But in a way it's more important. I've actually sent my own children, because that shows you, although I think I'm fairly irresponsible with my own children, I'm more responsible with your children than I will be with my own children. But I'm very happy. I have no qualms about the young people going, or about how important it is, by the way.
of course. So my own question, let's get it out of the way now, because I know security and safety is most everyone's mind. Under what circumstances would you ever cancel?
Yeah, on advice is a simple answer. I mean, when the tour's actually out there, I mean, you'll explain more about the security room, and I mean, we're in constant contact on a daily basis with what's going on, sometimes on an hourly basis. If it's necessary, We have staff on the ground and staff here in London working with the UJA. We're in touch with them all of the time. I mean, either through in ways, if necessary, I would get involved if it became, look more serious or a decision had to be made to cancel. First of all, they might make a decision. And if our partners said it was not safe, they might make a decision to return. If we felt it wasn't safe, never mind what our partners might say, we could still return.
All right.
So was there at any point last year, did you think of bringing everybody there?
No, but we did change the programme on a daily basis.
Oh,
And with these guys, I mean, with the UJA and our partners, on a daily basis, we're changing the programme. If it was safe, I don't have access, obviously, to every single security detail, but they do, working with the Israeli government. Listen, it'll be, as much as it'll be embarrassment for me, it'll also be embarrassment for the Israeli government, UJA, if anything were to happen to one of your children, because we hadn't done everything possible we could. By the way, nothing's risk-free. Okay, and I make that point. We take your children away all of the time. We do our very best to keep them safe. We haven't yet lost one, but there was, a child jumped into a swimming pool some years ago and ended up in had a very serious accident that will affect them permanently. They could do that on our scheme. They could do that going swimming with their mates. Those things happen. I can't say nothing's ever going to happen.
no.
All I can say to you is we that's UJA, LJY-Netzer, Liberal Judaism, will do our very best to see that it doesn't. And I mean, I can't say more than that really, because that's the truth. Any other questions? I mean, I can answer the technical question about amateur and all of those things, but you can use the word to do it. So, happy to do it. Anything else? The other thing I just want to say, which is a financial matter, it is our intention never to, both the UJI and us, to not exclude any child on the basis of financial ground. We have, up to now, we've sent every child, regardless of their parents' financial means. That becomes more and more difficult each year, but up to now, we've never kept a child away. The earlier you apply to the bursary system, which some people don't know that explain to you, which is supported by Liberal Judaism, by your own synagogues if that's possible, by UJA, the better. Okay? Don't leave it to the last minute and say, I can't afford it. The answer is, we're not going to take your deposit. If we can't make up the package, we're not going to take your deposit away, even though it says it's a non-returnable deposit. It's non-returnable in the sense that you decide at the last minute after you paid for your place, oh, well, I don't fancy going. But, if pay the deposit if you can afford it, and if you can't afford the deposit, still book it. Come and talk to one of the LJY-Netzer workers, or to me, or to your rabbi, or to whoever you want to talk to, but don't leave it to late. So what happens is the best bursary applications come in late. We can't, it's really hard then, because you guys already spent, how much are you spending on bursaries this year? So they've already spent 287,000, and the Ludniks come in and they're like, the people who think I can't do it come in the last minute, and all of a sudden we're in a, how are we going to raise an extra 20,000 in addition to 300,000 already been raised because somebody's come in at the last minute. So we're encouraging you to apply early if you need to. So other than, I don't visit every year, but I have visited in some years, and I think it's an amazing transforming experience for and I call our children, and my children now are older than these guys, but and I led a tour, by the way, now many, many moons ago, and I tell you, one of the people I led is now the director of Tzedek. The Jewish charity Tzedek was on my Israel tour. Some of you know the Judah Jockey. Yeah. I can't, by the way, I'm not here for propaganda, I'm here because I actually believe it. If it were propaganda, they'd have to wheel out somebody else because I wouldn't want to come. I'm here because I actually believe in it. I believe it's good for our young people, I believe it's good for our movement in terms of Jewish identity, in terms of what it gives them. Anything else? Okay. If you don't get the answer from these guys, because I have to go off to something else, don't get the answer from these guys, email me, d.rich@liberaljudaism, you'll have every answer you need. If you think they're being a bit shaky or dodgy with the answers, come back to me.
Which we won't be.
Which you won't be, but if there's anything you're worried about, you can't get an answer from them, I'm sure they'll give you all the answers. Come back to me, you'll have the answers you need. You'll have a daily update, so you know what your children are doing, they'll explain all that to you. You should have no qualms. I suggest to you, they're a safe on our Israel tour. as they are crossing the road outside some of their houses on a day-to-day basis. That's the reality.
You don't know where we live.
Somebody may live in rural areas where there's still horses going by, but I live on the off the main Barnet Road, and you know, I have to take my life into my hands when I cross the road. It's probably safer on ours road, so it might be crossing the road. It's not because I can't run any longer. All right. Anything else? Okay. I'm going to leave you in the capable hands.
Thank you, Danny. Nearly. You're safe as you're walking out of the Montague Centre. Great. So, for those who just came in, welcome. It's great also to see some potential future Israel tour Nicks from the far future here as well, in Adam and Izzy. For those who weren't here when I explained at the beginning, this is being live streamed on the internet, so please don't say anything that you don't want to be accidentally broadcast on the internet, as if that would happen. I'm now going to hand over to Cassie from Israel Experience, who's going to explain some of the logistics of the tour, what we do to keep everyone safe, and also some of the financial information.
Video, yeah.
Hi, so I'm seen on the computer. Hi. Okay, hi, I'm Kathy. I'm the head of Israel programs at LJY Israel Experience, and I'm going to talk to you about the elements of the program that we deal with, and I'll also answer all three of your questions within the presentation. And then if you've got any more at the end, just to know, I was actually on the core team for Israel Tour last year and dealt with all the security decision making, so I can answer your questions about how it worked last year and how that will then work for future years going forward. To start off with, I'm going to show you a video from last year's Israel Tour.
Next week I'm going to Israel for the first time in my life for almost a month of jam-packed, amazing cultural activities. It's just an unbelievable opportunity for me, and I can't wait. If the plane was leaving in 5 minutes, I'd like to be gone. I'm not sure what to expect, that's why I'm so looking forward to it, because I'm going in with an open mind. I'm really interested to learn and to see around me.
There's probably not much that would define me as being Jewish. I haven't had a religion myself, and I'm not a member of a shul, so it doesn't really mean much to me to be Jewish because I've never been involved in my religion much, so I don't really understand completely what it is to be Jewish.
So I sort of took a break from the Jewish side. I stopped going to synagogue for a while. And then after about a year or so, I was like, I want to get back into Judaism. You know, Israel talk's coming up. I really want to go on that.
Summer tour is a tremendous opportunity for young children to come and essentially experience the classroom that is Israel today. It's the first time that many of them have left home. It's the first time they're going to have to interact together as a kind of mini society together. The Madrachim are there to mould, to guide, to help, essentially ensure that our children go through this rite of passage in the most constructive and the most educational way possible.
The UGA have a tagline which they were saying in the seminar that they don't want the Madrachim to see Tor as this destination. They want us to see Tor as a departure lounge. So we take the Hanachim to this departure lounge and then they decide where the next destination is. Tor is the beginning rather than an end.
It's definitely more than just a holiday, or maybe it's what every holiday should be. It is full of engagement and thinking about things in a little bit more depth.
I wasn't always going to go on tour, but I'm so glad I did. And you know, the stuff we've done in the last month, you couldn't do at home. You couldn't meet these people back at home.
The UGA actually is the backbone of so much stuff that people enjoy. And I think maybe that message doesn't always get translated enough, that tour happens because the UGA is behind it.
Best experience on tour has to be Masada, because it was a brutally early wake up, and climbing up it was tough, but when you get to the top and you see the sunrise, you just feel a huge sense of accomplishment and achievement, and it is so worth it. We did Shacharit at the top of Masada, and that was just an amazing experience, and I wish I could do it like every day.
On the first night we just had a talk about what to do in the event of the siren, and suddenly we hear the siren go off, and we walked very calmly into the shelter, and the response from the group was really amazing. They were really calm and respectful. They were just like, yeah, we're here in the shelter, but it's fine. One of our Israeli Madrachim, Batia, her husband has been serving in Gaza as a medic, and her emotional journey of really, at times, being really upset, I think, has made everyone be super, super conscious that although we're in our own bubble, Israelis who have loved ones serving are really going through a horrible time. And the joy also when he was released and came to visit us for an evening on Shabbat was amazing. Everyone rallied around him, so happy to meet him, sung to him, and gave him the full experience of love and joy on Shabbat.
I've never felt in any danger while I've been here, but what I have done is I have learned about conflict, and it's really helped me understand and connect with basically another side of me, which I'm really happy with.
It's really made me feel very proud to be Jewish. I feel like my Jewish identity is very strong here. Now, I'm not so religious, and a lot of people aren't so religious, but to connect, I think it's a really special thing.
I think the biggest thing I'll take from the tour will be my understanding of community now, because our whole tour, we've worked together fantastically. We've been together for almost a month. We've got along, we've shared rooms, I've met new people, made new friends, and it's just the tour does an amazing job of bringing people closer together and meeting people I wouldn't have met had I not came to tour.
It's definitely been the biggest experience of my life, and I 100% will talk about it forever. The fact that I'm more in touch with my Jewish identity will affect how I am when I'm at home. I'll definitely make more of an effort to learn about my religion.
When children come back from summer tour, they are suddenly far more aware of the community's needs and their heritage and how they can essentially get involved in marrying these two together.
We don't provide these kids with the opportunity to understand what they are empowered to do in the future. Then they may just become disenfranchised, disillusioned by the time they get to 16. Before you know it, you've got this chasm in the community, and it won't be long until the community just dies. And if we don't look after the Jewish community, we will.
So thank you for listening. I'm going to pass over to LJY, and then together we'll take questions at the end. So thank you.
There we go. So I'm just going to give slightly not different perspective on things, like from an LJY point of view, explain if that's interesting. There we go. I'm going to give LJY perspective on how things work. We're going to take a quick look at the programme, and then, as Cassie said, we're going to have questions. First of all, just to introduce myself to those of you I've not met before. My name's Gabriel. I'm one of the movement workers at LJY-Netzer, along with Tom and Tamara, who you might have to imagine, but she'll be back shortly. Tamara and I were on Israel tour together in 2008. Originally, I led Israel tour 2013, and now I kind of have to stay in the office while you lot go on Israel tour 2015, but I'm sure it will be worth it. In this section of the presentation, we are going to look at what is Israel tour, what is LJY-Netzer, why come on LJY-Netzer Israel tour, where do we go and what do we do, and who leads the tour, and then some good information. Tom, do you want to click?
Yeah,
I've decided that will be that way. So, thank you. Go on, treat yourself. Yeah. Yeah? Oh. There we go. LJY-Netzer is an ideological Jewish youth movement. We have 4 pillars to our ideology. Those pillars are liberal Judaism, I can't read it off the screen, it's really bad, Reform Zionism, Tikkun Olam, and youth empowerment. So we're now just briefly going to go through what each of those means. First of all, just in general, and second one in terms of an Israel tour now in an unspecified order. Well, pardon me, these are enacted by informal education, which is the style of education we use on Israel tour. It's not classroom-based, it's kind of very interactive. There'll be activities, learning through doing, kind of as Cassie said, using Israel as a classroom. Hadrakah, leadership on Israel tour. It's kind of beginning of the Hadrakah journey for those of you who will be going. There'll be volunteering opportunities where we'll be working with Israeli children if that's something you want to do. And when you get back, you're eligible to become fully fledged leaders within LJY-Netzer. You can lead on weekend events and so on. And in spring 2016, I know it seems a long way away, you'll be the year group leading on Machane Aviv, our spring camp. So you're very much moving forwards in that sense. And informed decision making. Hopefully you're going to make an informed decision now to go on Israel tour, but more generally, we think it's really important for you to go out to Israel and see things yourselves and hear from real live Israelis in order to make decisions about issues that, as British Jews, are going to come up for you again and again in your lives. Liberal Judaism, pillar number 1. Liberal Jewish identities. We want our Hanachim to be able to build for themselves a liberal Jewish identity. There are 11 different youth movements that run Israel tours. Some of them are completely secular. Some of them are ultra-religious with kippot and like hair and everything. We're religious in our own way, and we want everyone to feel secure and building their own liberal Jewish identity. We're modern, inclusive, and equal. We count Jews in and not out. If you have kind of any semblance of Jewish identity, we'll welcome you. We value individuals. Everyone who will be leading your Israel tour will have been in LJY-Netzer for many years previously. It's a place where people build a community, build a home within that community. We do creative and traditional prayer. I think speak for yourself, really. We do, yeah. And remember, Netzer Olami, which is the International Confederation of Progressive Zionist Youth Movements. Netzer stands for Noah Zioni Reformi, Youth Zionist Reform, slightly more grammatical. Reform Zionism. Reform Zionism is about building a personal relationship with Israel. We believe in the existence of a Jewish state in the land of Israel. That's the Zionism bit. We look at all sides of Israel, from the language to the culture to the history to the people, and by people we include all of the people as well, all of the inhabitants. We embrace and engage in different narratives. During the course of Israel, you'll hear from a whole host of different people, from Israeli Jews, Orthodox Jews, Reform Jews, Israeli secular Jews, Israeli Arabs. You'll meet Druze, we'll meet Bedouin, kind of all the different groups of people who live in Israel. We think it's important to hear all the different narratives, and that ties in again to informed decision making. Tikkun Olam, repairing the world. Vegetarianism. LJY-Netzer voted at our Veda, which is a decision-making event for anyone your age upwards. It's coming up in December 20th to 23rd. Please come. At Veda in 2007, we voted to become a vegetarian youth movement for ideological reasons, particularly in terms of the meat industry's impact on the environment. We do social action projects. Every 2 years, we'll have a new social action project. Currently, we are on mental health awareness, which we do in conjunction with Time to Change. Volunteering. A lot of volunteering happens on Israel Tour, from the leaders who are leading it to all of you who will have the opportunity to volunteer on environmental projects, working with children, there's all sorts. Creating our vision of Israel. This ties into the Reform Zionism. We believe in making Israel a just and a fair place for all of its inhabitants, and something that the whole movement, from the youngest people to the oldest people, work towards is enacting that and learning about that. Why come on an LJY-Netzer Israel Tour, as if you haven't heard enough? We do a modern and engaging look at Israel and Zionism. We use the most up-to-date sources and inputs from the widest range of views possible that we can obtain to make sure that you get a rounded picture and are able to take informed decisions. It's lots of fun. You know, we wake you up at 4 AM to climb a mountain, but then you see the sunrise over the opposite mountain. Like, it doesn't happen in Watford. We're an inclusive Israel tour. Whoever you are, you'll find a space here, and so many people have come on LJY-Netzer Israel Tour even as their first event and become just like fully ingrained parts of the community for years to come, and then found their home amongst that group of friends for the rest of their lives. Post-tour engagement. So summer 2016, save it in your diaries now. We run Kayetz Netzer. We run a tour of Europe, kind of like interrailing with Jews, as it's been described. No other youth movement has offered this for the last few years. Now we're doing it in conjunction with LJY-Netzer. We take in Croatia, Austria, and Bosnia-Herzegovina, which is a really exciting way to experience Jewish life in other places. And then there's also leading opportunities. Where and what? Right. This is the list of generic places in Israel, but this, straight out of the printer, is our program for Israel Tour 2015. I know, right? So it's also very much subject to change, as Cassie said, even before they leave. But I'm going to give you a very rough overview of what we'll be doing on Israel Tour and where we'll be going. We'll be starting off in Haifa. Haifa is a hugely multicultural city. They've got the High Gardens, with, no, they're not any of those actually. High Gardens, like you possibly recognize them if you saw them, they're one of the most amazing sites that there is actually. It's one of my favorite places in Israel. There's also a monastery and various other places. We'll be visiting a progressive Jewish community in Leo called Leo Beck, which is twinned with various UK Jewish organizations as well. We'll be visiting Akko, doing some volunteering. We'll be visiting Carmiel, which is a partner where the UJA has a lot of bases, and we'll be meeting young people there and doing some volunteering. There's various hikings. We go up to the north, the Golan, kayaking down the Jordan River, including lunch. There you go. We swim as well. Sorry? We feed them, yeah, kind of once a week.
Is that from a kibbutz? Is that from
Not sure specifically which hike. Like, we stay in a number of kibbutzim over the course of the trip, and we do like different routes as well. Some we drive to, some we just walk from. Yeah. We'll be visiting the Kinneret. We'll be going on to Tiberias and doing various bits of volunteering there. We'll be visiting Magen David Adom and meeting volunteers who provide medical services in Israel. We'll be visiting Tel Aviv, where there's a number of exciting things, particularly including a museum called Dialogue in the Dark, which is not specifically Israeli, but it's incredible. It's a experience of being blind. So it's like a fully integrated place, like with market stalls and cars and stuff. That's completely pitch black, and you're led around by actual blind volunteers. You give their time to show what it's like. It's just one of the most incredible experiences. We'll be visiting. We'll be spending Shabbat in Jaffa, which is a lovely place to take a moment to pause at that point in Torah and world and have a rest. We always make sure that Shabbat's a time for rest and lie-in and group bonding activities. We'll be doing Masada, floating in the Dead Sea on the same day. That's always a brilliant one. Visiting the Kotel in Jerusalem, Yad Vashem, and so on. Kibbutz Lotan is where we'll be spending our final Shabbat. Kibbutz Lotan is a progressive Jewish kibbutz in the Negev, in the desert. Like many LJY-Netzer people, I think including tomorrow, actually have spent time living there on Shnata Gap Year program. It's an eco kibbutz, so there's all sorts of mud huts and recycled water and stuff. It's a really amazing place, and it's a great place for Shabbat as well. We'll be staying at a desert experience, which is a tent in the desert where there'll be camel riding and sort of outdoor food, tea from a hot stove. I like the tea, everything. Watch it. And then we'll be concluding on a day with a final hike, driving to Jerusalem. There'll be a closing ceremony at the Kotel, and then we'll be leaving at 3:30 in the morning. So if you can start getting some sleep in before that. That's a packed tour. That took about 3 minutes to go through, but it's going to be an incredible 24 days. And it will take in all of those things in that order. Who leads the tour? So there'll be probably actually with us 3 British Madrachim. Tom and I were on the interview panel for them last week. We can't reveal who they are yet, we've not necessarily decided yet, but all of the applicants were rushing on Kadima just gone. That means they were senior leaders on our summer camp. They are going to be 21 at the time of the tour, having been part of a team of people responsible for leading a summer camp with 120 children. We think that's excellent grounding experience, both in LJY-Netzer and in just caring for young people, being an engaging leader, creative education, and so on. They are all absolutely first class, and you should have no fears at all on that front. Yeah, there's an interview process. Yes, as Cassie explained, they're going to be trained both in the UK and in Israel, and also LJY-Netzer will run specific training with them. And we'll probably also run that with some outside organisations, such as the New Israel Fund and Yachad, so that they can look at various different narratives. They're going to have specific training in LJY ideology. They've kind of been ruled up through that, and also in group dynamics and welfare. We're aware that a lot of people come to Israel Tour as their first event, and so it's really important for us that those people are included from the get-go, and that's something that Madrachim will be particularly focusing on. There'll also be 2 Israeli Madrachim per tour, as Cassie says. And they will be, one of them will be a medic and one of them will be a tour guide. Some important details. 12th of July to 5th of August, I hope it's in everyone's diary. The price for Liberal Judaism members will be 2,886, and for non-members will be 2,981. There you go, I should have practiced that bit. But as Cassie explained, there are extensive bursaries available, and genuinely, as far as we've checked our records, no one has ever been unable to come for financial reasons, so please don't let the price be a deterrent at all. Some important dates coming up, particularly deadlines. 30th of January is the bursary application deadline. If you are going to be applying for financial assistance, it's really important you let us know before the 30th of January. You can do that either when you use the online sign-up form, there's a little box you can tick to say yes, or if you forgot to do that, I'm just not sure whether you did it, you can drop an email to our bursary officer, Shelley, who will give you her email address at the end. 27th of February is the general application deadline. If you're not applying for bursary, you still need to apply by 27th of February. Also, in terms of these deadlines, applying only counts if you've paid your £350 deposit, or if we've spoken about that if there's bursary issues involved, just because we have to run it on a first come, first served basis should it fill up, and the deposit is an integral part of signing up. 10th of March, complete form deadline. Once you've signed up, we'll be sending you a login for a UJIA website with a quite long form with all sorts of medical information, welfare information, and so on. The deadline for completing that, and that includes printing it out, getting it signed by a doctor, and posting it to us, will be the 10th of March. 1st of May, we need to have received the full payment. 30th of May, there's going to be some pizza. Everyone who will be coming on the Israel tour will be invited here for an evening of pizza. It's great just to meet everyone who will be going, to finally get the group together at that point, and just like the excitement will be starting to ramp up by then. 30th to 14th of June will be tour orientation. That will be a residential event at the synagogue in London, yet to be determined. Sorry? So we checked roughly GCSE dates, and we looked to be like towards the end of it, but we might not look all board.
Is that
June
when yours
12th.
finish? Okay.
All right, we'll have another look at that. That was also before we knew what the dates of Israel tour was, so we will.
Is that a weekend then?
That is a week, yes, so that's a Saturday and Sunday.
GCSE still going on, there's absolutely no way.
All right, that's fine. We'll double check the
No,
dates.
right, Layla's okay, so it's okay.
Yeah, Layla can come and orient herself, but that's fine. We'll double check the dates and confirm that.
Would it be possible to make it a week later? Do you think if a lot of people have still got GCSE?
That's almost certainly quite possible. Yeah, there's just obviously. So we're also beginning to get ready for our summer camp then, so we need to check the none of the weekends into separate planning weekends, but that should be fine. Yes, like thanks for pointing that out, and I will look into that.
Mind you, I'm saying that once they've finished their GCSEs, they're not at school, so it could be done on a Monday or Tuesday, just to be a weekend.
But some people, some of it's schools.
Some people finish like a week or so. Some people finish like Mondays. We finish really early.
So we'll check into the dates.
Most finish by the 18th. Anyway.
Great. So that's basically all from me. These are my email address, gabriel@liberaljudaism.org, and Shelley, the bursary officer, shelley@liberaljudaism.org. I'm going to be emailing around these slides for I'll say for those who aren't here, that's not helpful to tell you. I'm going to be emailing around those slides for those who'd like another look at them, and if you think I don't have your email address for any reason, then you can give it to me now or just drop me an email. Other than that, that's all I've got to say. So now Cassie and I will take any questions if there are any.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for coming.
Thank you.